Hello there, Slimo here. Welcome to the channel. And today I'm here for a more fun kind of video. If you all would like that, of course. So this is just an experiment for part 1, and if you all would like a part 2, just say so in the comments. And if I see that it is if people really liked it, then of course I will make a part 2 for sure. But let me know if you like these kind of videos and if I should do more of these fun kind videos for Infernity. So yeah, today I'm here to showcase you all some custom Infernity cards I made because we really need support, like pure or wise thinking. Pure Infernity really needs a secondary archetype to work. And then even so, you only play like one Archfiend, one Necromancer, one Return of the Reaper, one Launcher, two Barrier, and one Sage, of course. And then one Patriarch is optional, of course, but like that is really all you need for your Infernity cards for an Infernity deck, because the names themselves really brick. If Launcher, of course, came back to 3, we will play more names. But for now, of course, this is really just the way to play Infernity competitively, on a more competitive level, of course. So yeah, I really wanted to make support for this, and we really need support because, to be honest, I just want to play pure Infernity. I want pure Infernity to be good. But yeah, if you want to go X4 at locals, then you can play a pure Infernity. But sadly, it's just not good how much we try. So yeah, pure Infernity in also like only Infernity cards is just bad. It really needs a secondary archetype to work. Like with Fiendsmith, for example, it's kinda okay to play, and I've made a video on that once, and I will make an updated once, of course. But yeah, enough of me yapping that we on of my copium of Infernity support. Let's take a look at the cards that I made and enjoy the video, of course. Alrighty, let's get started. By the way, I drew all these cards myself, except for the field spell that I will show later on. But drawing is really one of my other big passions. But I do draw Infernity art, or like Infernity fan art. I really enjoy, or making my own customs. So yeah, I really love drawing, and if you want to see more of my art, just let me know and I will make a video on it. That would be cool. But enough of me, let's just get into the custom cards. We see here Infernity Warlock. It's a dark level 4 fiend, of course. And it says you can only special summon Dark Dragon Synchro monsters and Infernity monsters from your extra deck the turn you activate either of Infernity Warlock's effects. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can take 2 Infernity monsters from your deck, send one of them to the graveyard and add the other to your hand. When you have one card in hand, you can reveal it, and if it is an Infernity monster, special summon it. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. During your draw step, you can banish this card from your graveyard. While you have no cards in hand, skip your draw step, then you can place one Infernity monster from your deck or graveyard on top of your deck. So, this was the idea for an Infernity starter, because we really need an archetype starter, of course. And I really love the idea of taking 2 and adding one of them and sending the other one. Really sets up your plays. And the other effect then directly combos into it. So for example, you can then send one name, for example, Archfiend, and then add Necromancer. Then if it's the only card in hand, reveal it, special summon it. This card also makes playing more Infernity names viable, because you really want to open your Infernity names now if this was a card. The banish effect is just a fun effect to stack Archfiend and skip your draw step, because this helps against trap decks, so that we can activate barriers in our turn directly, so they don't flip traps in our draw phase when we have cards on hand. So yeah, I hope you like the idea of this starter card. Then we have this silly little goober, Infernity Spirit Walker. It's a dark level 4 Fiend Tuner, of course, because we are a synchro archetype after all. And this was a cool idea from me that I got inspired by the Raid Raptor Strangle Lanius, to be honest. So yeah, if you control a dark monster, you can special summon this card. Then, if you control an Infernity monster, you can declare a level from 1 to 3. This card becomes that level until the end phase. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn except Dragon Synchro monster effects and Infernity monster effects. And when this card special summons from the graveyard, you can shuffle back one Infernity card from your graveyard or banish band back into your deck. You must have no cards in hand in order to activate this effect. And you can only use both of these effects once per turn, of course. So yeah, the idea of a starter, no, extender, I mean, this card should just really work together with Infernity Warlock, because you can search it with Warlock, and then you can special summon this card on itself, and then you can special summon another name from your hand with Warlock's second effect. And declaring level from 1 to 3 really helps with synchro plays. So yeah, this is just really for synchro plays, and then in order to shuffle back an Infernity card is really cool to recycle launcher for etc. So I really hope you all like this extender ID. Next up is Infernity Wendigo. Fun fact, Wendigos are my favorite Native American mythology monsters. So since some of the Infernity cards, of course, are based on Native American folklore, I really wanted to include the Wendigo, of course. So yeah, I really love the creature. So yeah, Infernity Wendigo is a dark level 4 fiend, of course. And it says for the synchro summon of an Infernity or Dark Dragon synchro monster, you can treat this card as a tuner. If you control an Infernity monster and you have no cards in your hand, you can tribute one Infernity monster, special summon this card from your deck. If special summoned this way, special summon one Infernity monster from your graveyard or banishment. You can only special summon Infernity Wendigo once per duel this way, and once per duel you can adjust this card's level from 1 to 3. This ID, by the way, I forgot to mention, but was by Reaper Wiz from the Discord, so shoutouts to him. It's a really cool card like that helps you, for example, if you get impermed on Archfiend effect, you can just summon this guy and then just keep on playing. It's a very good card. It's very broken. If we ever see support, I don't think we will see something like this, but this would really help us and would make playing more Infernity names also more adjustable, because this guy is just full combo on its own. So yeah, I really hoped you enjoy this card, because I really did enjoy making and drawing it. Next up, we have a boss monster ID and a Doom Dragon Retrain. I really think if we're getting support that we will get a Doom Dragon Retrain, because seeing from other anime decks getting support, their boss monster gets retrained into a very cool, insane new card. So I really hope that we will get a Doom Dragon Retrain. And why not make it together with our other TCG and OCG boss monster Trishula? So it was a cool idea made by Darko from the Discord. Shoutouts to him, of course. And for the rest, I designed this card by myself for that. So yeah, the name is Trishula, the Infernity Dragon of Icy Flames, making it, of course, a Trishula and Doom Dragon variant. So yeah, it requires one Infernity tuner plus one non-tuner Infernity monster and or Dragon Synchro monster. So you can synchro summon it with a level 1, for example, with Trishula, or otherwise, of course. But yeah, it's also made so you can synchro summon it together using Trishula. So if this card synchro summons, you can special summon one Infernity monster from your graveyard or banishment. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate that effect and banish that monster. Then you can banish one random card from your opponent's hand or banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. When this card leaves the field by battle or opponent's card effect, you can special summon one Infernity or Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier Synchro monster from your extra deck, except Trishula the Infernity Dragon of Icy Flames. This is treated as a synchro summon, and you can only use each effect once per turn, and you must have no cards in hand to activate them. So yeah, the idea to summon one back is just to keep on playing. So yeah, that's very cool indeed, making it also an insanely good extender. And the effect for a negate is also very sick, because boss monsters really nowadays have negates, and I really thought that was a sick idea because this card really looks like a tremendous powerhouse that just negates all of your opponent's shits. And then you can banish one random card from opponent's hand or banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. This was just made because Trishula does this, and I really wanted to include the Trishula effect in this. And when it dies, you can summon one from your extra deck. For example, Trishula, so you can... and it's treated as a synchro summon, so you can banish card from your hand, graveyard, and field with Trishula. So it's a very sick card as an insanely cool boss monster, and I really did enjoy drawing this and just creating this absolute powerhouse. So we got Infernity Doom Archfiend, but what about Infernity Doom Necromancer? Infernity Doom Necromancer is a dark level 5 fiend, of course, and it requires one Infernity Tuner plus one plus non-tuner dark monsters. And if this card is synchro summoned, you can shuffle back any number of cards from your hand back into your deck, and then special summon any number of Infernity monsters from your hand. If you have no cards in your hand, this card gains the following effect. You can target one Infernity monster from your graveyard except Infernity Doom Necromancer and special summon it. Then you can special summon one Infernity monster from your banishment. You can target one Infernity monster in field, increase its level by 1. You can only use each of the previous effects of Infernity Doom Necromancer once per turn, and you can treat this card as a tuner for the synchro summon of a Dark Dragon synchro monster. So yeah, the idea to shuffle back cards from your hand into your deck makes it viable to run hand traps. So when you summon this, you can just shuffle them back to your deck. And then special summon any number of Infernity monsters, so it doesn't punish you for shuffling back Infernity monsters. It actually rewards you for having Infernity monsters in hand, so making that opening Infernity names isn't bad at all. Then the effect to revive one is just like Infernity Necromancer, of course. And then special summon one Infernity from your banishment is just really an effect plus because, like, it's Doom Necromancer, it's the evolution of Necromancer, so it does more than the regular Necromancer. And in order to increase the a level from an Infernity monster, I really wanted to make this card like, for example, with Warlock, you can then change its level to one more, and then just synchro this away together with Warlock, for example, in order to make Trishula the Infernity Icy Flames Dragon. So that was just the idea, of course, and I really wanted to make a Doom Necromancer. Actually, I made this art like 5 years ago because I really... now, I think when Doom Archfiend came out, I made this. So I really wanted to make it into a custom card, and I hope you all liked Doom Necromancer. Next up, we have a Link 2 called Infernity Ace. The design was made by Reaper Wiz and Mayor from the Discord, and the name was also made by Reaper Wiz, so shout out to these guys. I really enjoyed drawing this guy, and it looks really insane. Alright, Infernity Ace is a Dark Fiend Link. Of course, it's a Link 2. It requires 2 Fiend monsters, including an Infernity monster. If this card's Link summoned, you can place 1 Infernity monster from your hand or deck in your spell and trap zone. Your opponent cannot respond to this effect while you have no cards in your hand. While you have no cards in your hand, you can this card gains the following effect. You can special summon 1 Infernity monster from your spell and trap zone. This is a quick effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, send 1 Infernity monster from your hand, or deck to the graveyard. Then you can discard 1 card, and you can only use each effect once per turn. So yeah, the idea of needing a link, I really think if we get support, we either get hopefully more synchro monsters that I really look out for, or we will get 2 link monsters or something. But I really hope for the synchro route because I really want more synchro monsters. But yeah, the idea of a link, I mean, we deserve a link, so why not this? This is really sick to place Infernity monsters in your spell and trap zone and then summoning them. That makes you like dodge silly hand traps. For example, you can dodge Ash because you're not adding it, etc. So yeah, this was really made to counter hand traps and in order to play through more hand traps, of course. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this link design because I really did making a link. We deserve a link for sure. Next up, we have a Link 1. Yes, a Link 1. I really think we are not getting a Link 1 because of how broken a Link 1 would be. And this card on itself is also really broken. But it was just a fun idea that I wanted to showcase. If this card, so Infernity Scavenger, is a dark Link 1 fiend, and it requires 1 level 4 lower Infernity monster, so you can't make it with it himself. So otherwise it would be way more broken. If this card's a Link summon, you can add 1 Infernity's power trap from your deck to your hand. You can tribute this card while you have no cards in your hand. Send Infernity monsters from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of special summoned monsters your opponent controls that were special summoned from the extra deck. +1. For the rest of this turn, after activating and resolving an effect of this card, you can only special summon Infernity monsters and Dark Dragon Synchro monsters from your extra deck. You can only use each effect of Infernity Scavenger once per turn. So yeah. The idea to add 1 Infernity's power trap is just really to add launcher to your hand in order to have launcher access directly. This card would be insane if we had more launcher, and I really think we will get more launcher soon. Or this card can search the field spell if we get a field spell that I really think we will be getting. So yeah, this card's really insane, and then sending more Infernity monsters from your deck to the graveyard. +1, this was just an idea based on the card Condolence Puppet from Gimmick Puppet, in order to send your player so you can start playing from the graveyard with those cards. So yeah, that was the idea, but actually getting a Link 1 is not... I can see it, but I also can see it. Like, most likely we don't get one. But there's also like a really small chance we get it. But then it would be like much more, yeah, not as good as this card. So yeah, if you want to see more of a card that I think we will get if we ever get a Link 1, then I will sure try to make it, and then you can all see that, yeah, of course, you can all see that I don't think the Link 1 would be as broken as Infernity Scavenger here. Next up, we have a normal spell called Infernity Loading. It's a normal spell. So yeah, take 1 Infernity card from your hand, deck, or graveyard, or banishment, place it on the top of your deck. While you have no cards in hand, you can banish this card from your graveyard, draw 1 card. Your opponent cannot respond to this effect if you have 1 or more Infernity monsters in your graveyard. You can only use the second effect of Infernity Loading once per turn. So the idea really is stack Archfiend and top deck Archfiend, because top decking Archfiend is the best feeling ever. So making it more viable to top deck Archfiend with a card of our own. This card would be really sick, and I really see a card like this coming as support. So I hope you all enjoy it too, of course. Next up, we have a quick play spell called Infernity Awakening. You all already be thinking a quick play spell, how in Infernity? Well, let me explain. So Infernity Awakening, you can activate this card the turn it was set while you have an Infernity monster on your field and or in your graveyard. When your opponent activates a monster effect from their hand, you can reveal 1 Infernity card, or if you have an Infernity card on your field and or graveyard, where you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, you can negate that effect, then inflict damage equal to the attack of the defense of that card, whichever is higher. When you special summon an Infernity monster from your extra deck, you can set this card from your graveyard. You can only activate and resolve this effect while you have no cards in your hand. You can only activate each effect of Infernity Awakening once per turn. So the idea is that Suppression is a really bad card, and this card is just what we didn't get. So this card is if we got Suppression, but good. This card punishes hand traps users, and we hate hand trap users. It's just really a counter against hand traps, and I really love to see something like this for Infernity, because Infernity suppression is just bad. It's just not good at all, and I really like to rant about it because Konami really fucked up that card. So yeah, I really hope we will get something like this, because this would be a good answer to hand traps. So we can just play through more hand traps, of course. So yeah, this will be sick, and I hope you all like it too. Next up, and at last, we have the field spell called Crashdown, because it's Crashdown. All right. So what it does, this card is always treated as an Infernity card. During your main phase, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add one Infernity monster from your deck to your hand. When this card has been added to your hand by the effect of an Infernity monster, while your opponent controls a monster, you can place this card from your hand onto the field. Then you can choose one of the following effects. For the rest of this turn, while you control this card, your opponent cannot target Infernity cards you control. Or for the rest of this turn, while you control this card, your opponent cannot respond to the effect of your Infernity cards. You can banish this card from your field. While you have no cards in your hand, place one Infernity monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment on the top of your deck, then draw one card. You can only activate one Crashdown per turn. So, yeah, of course, I was thinking about what kind of design would it be for an Infernity field spell, and I was like, of course it should be Crashdown, because it's Crashdown. So yeah, the effect in order to add one Infernity monster is just to add one Infernity monster. Of course, if we get a starter, like for example the Infernity Warlock I showcased, you can just discard as just one card combo into full combo, and then of course when this card's added by the effect of an Infernity monster, so by Archfiend, of course, you can place on the field spell, then choose one. It's just really so that Infernity can play going second, so that your opponent cannot target Infernity cards or responds to them. It's just like the gimmick puppet cards, but less toxic, because your opponent needs to control a card of their own, so you can more play going second. And that was the idea, because Infernity really lacks the power to go second, and this card would really fix that issue. The last effect, to place one Infernity monster, then draw one. I just really love top decking Archfiend, and it would be fun to include an effect like that. So why not? And it's completely viable to do so. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this field spell take of mine. Okay, so you've reached the end of the video. I've showed all my custom cards I wanted to showcase, and I hope you all enjoyed them all. If you, like said in the beginning of the video, if you would like to see another part of this or any other kind of fun video about Infernity, just let me know and I will make it, because I love doing this. I love doing everything for Infernity. So yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed the custom cards. Let me know what you think about the custom cards I made. If you want to theorize with them, they are all set for everyone on Duel Link book, so you can use them freely on your own if you want to play with them, of course. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope you all enjoyed seeing the custom cards too. And yeah, just let me know what you think of them. Alrighty, that was it for the video. I'm sorry for the stuttering. I've been talking for now almost 30 minutes. Not that I mind, but I can stutter sometimes, and I really am working on that. So I'm really sorry, and I hope in the future this would be a fixed issue. But yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed the video and seeing the custom cards. If you want to see another part of it, I will make more customs and then showcase them all, of course. Or if you have another idea on a fun thing to do with Infernity, just let me know, and I will freely do so. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it, of course. Thank you so much for watching. Infernity best deck, Infernity for life.